King Alcohol has many forms by which he catches man. He is a beast of many horns, and ever thus has been.
For there's rum,
and gin,
and beer,
and wine, and brandy of logwood hue,
and hawk,
and port,
and flip combined
to make a man look blue.
He says be merry,
for his good sherry,
and Tom and Jerry, champagne and perry,
and spirits of every hue. Oh, are not these a fiendish crew, as ever a mortal knew? Oh, are not these a fiendish crew?
All right, everybody, how we doing tonight?
Oh, fantastic.
We are at one of my favorite craft breweries in this city.
Is that Cowboy? Maybe not even just city. This is one of my favorite breweries of all time.
Absolutely.
All time, that's
hands down.
Damn.
We're here. I'm excited.
Deep. Impressive.
Yep.
Where are we, Cowboy?
We're at Big Lug.
Big Lug.
And with us on the show tonight, we have the proprietor of Big Lug, Mr. Eddie Somm.
Hello, everyone.
Well, howdy, sir. How you doing?
You guys don't have to be nice the whole time.
We won't.
This place is this place is okay.
It's mediocre at best.
Yeah.
We honestly, we're pretty honest. We've had a couple shows booked and we canceled them because we tried the beer and we didn't like it, and we didn't want to have to talk negatively, so we just canceled the show.
Yeah.
Made it easier.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys are here before. The first time I had Big Lug beer was at Pies and Pines.
Yes,
Pies
absolutely.
And as soon as we had it, we're like, we had the Christofferson, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, we're going to Big Lug.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it took us this long to get here.
Yeah.
So
It's not too long.
No.
not too long.
3 months. I
It
think.
felt like for us, though.
Well, I've been here at least twice or 3 times since Pies and Pines. Just not recording here.
Yeah. I've been here once or twice.
yeah,
Once or twice.
Yeah.
A day.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
So we knew we had great beer here, which
Yes.
is what brought us here. But then I got here, and the stakes just went through the roof because not only do they have great beer,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
they
yeah,
got
do.
Journeyman on the shelf.
And,
Yep.
and
Good friends of ours.
Oh, man.
so much I can't put my arms around as much Journeyman as you have.
Yeah. We made it a goal to carry all of anything Bill Welter had. Bill does tremendous stuff up there.
It's
So,
amazing.
It really
Cowboy
is.
and I did their 4th anniversary party over there.
Yeah.
It was
And
fantastic.
I've been in love with these guys since I think I was there the first year they came out, and I can't stop talking about them. They're amazing.
Well, I'll let you guys create the talking points, but something that I get to every time I talk to someone about this, places that are brew pubs, and specifically here in Indianapolis, they water themselves down. And they're all great places, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of really good places you can go, but they want to carry everything. They want to make everybody happy, and my family's been in the restaurant business for so long
Yes, they have.
that I've learned that it's just a really crappy way to do things. It's not fun. Your employees don't like it. Customers learn to not like it. So what we said was, if we're going to serve only our own beer, we might as well serve a product that we know, we love, we like the people who do it. It's if you want a vodka, you're drinking Journeyman vodka.
Right.
If you want a whiskey, you're drinking Silver Cross whiskey. It's simple as that. So we got good response to it.
But I think for a show like us, that's excellent because we do promote the anti-prohibition, the craft brewery, the craft spirit scene. That's what we're all about. I would rather go into a place like this and drink all local than to go somewhere else and drink one of the mainstreams. I'd much rather be in a place like this. So
completely agree.
Oh, you got Bud Light next to your Christofferson? Oh, yeah. All right.
But there are a lot of brew pubs who do it, and I talked to Scott earlier, the partner over here, that we just never get it. We never get the whole why do you carry other people's beers, let alone Miller Lite, Bud Light, whatever. I drink High Life, so I can't sit here and naysay on them, but I just don't get it. It's like, why would you carry the brewery down the street's beer?
Yeah.
Serve your beer. Be proud of your beer.
That's right.
I've never really understood it. So
do you guys not do any guest taps at all?
no, the only time we'll do guest taps, like for instance, Ballast Point is on downstairs right now. Their sales rep's a buddy of mine, Joe Doyle, and he was playing a show here, live music. So I told him I'd put some stuff on tap for him. So sometimes we will. We carried Tin Man when we did it a collaboration. We did it with Flicks when we did a collaboration. So
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I know you don't maybe do tap takeovers, but you guys do collaborate still with a lot of the other local stuff. So
it's not to say we're not friendly.
Right.
Yeah, we love these guys.
Yeah, the craft brew industry, and we've talked about it before, is at least in Indiana, there's a collaboration all the time.
Absolutely,
It's a camaraderie.
Yeah. No, the brewers all. It's funny how much the brewers all love each other. I can't. I'm a cook, and I'm not pounding around with all my cook buddies after work. It's like I'm gonna go sit my ass down and do nothing. So yeah, but yeah, they all like each other.
So, we were talking about Journeyman and you guys being such great friends. What are you aging in their barrels right now?
It always depends.
Yeah?
We just had a raspberry saison on that was in rye barrels. Their last
nice.
feather rye.
Yeah.
It used to be Ravenswood rye, and they got sued by the wine maker. So
Really?
Ravenswood wine. So last feather now, I have to say. We have, let's see, we have a Flemish a red.
Yeah.
That's aging right now in bourbon barrels. Bro Culture, our sour Kolsch, Imperial sour Kolsch is aging in Buggy Whip wheat barrels.
Wow.
A lot of crap. I mean, honestly, we get little. They're cool because they serve little 5-gallon barrels.
Yeah.
You know, not the big 55 gallons. So
It's a lot easier to do things.
we can mess around a little bit more.
Yeah.
Text me when that comes out.
You guys know this is one of the first times in I don't know how many weeks we've actually had all 5 pigs.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
It's kind
at
of
the
crazy,
table.
isn't it?
I
And we
know.
also have one of our old favorites, Mr. Chris Birch, with us tonight.
Yeah.
Always
Thanks for
fun.
having me.
Crap. Who invited
Welcome
him?
to the show, man.
We love Chris. He can never do it anymore. He's always busy on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
That's probably a good thing, though. That means the man's working.
That's true. That's true. But we got to have our Nirvana
Time out.
showdown.
Chris is sipping
We've never
on
done that
something.
before.
I know.
What's a Nirvana showdown?
It's,
One of us loves him, one of us hates him. So we just got to have. We just like to. bicker
So it's a
about it.
point counterpoint.
Yeah.
I love point counterpoint.
It's like
do
a
too.
high school debate.
Yes.
Literally.
maybe younger.
And eventually it follows up with a whole bunch of punching and kicking. And
No.
stuff.
That's what
Well,
we're drinking.
We kicked the drum set in, you know.
So we've talked a lot about your beer and your spirits now, but your food here is also phenomenal. I'm a big Wisconsin guy. You said you drink Miller High Life. That's what I grew up drinking, Miller Lite, Miller High Life. You have the only cheese curds in the state that taste just like you can get up in Wisconsin. My wife's next to you, and she actually tells people, if you want cheese curds, we're going to Big Lug. That's
Yeah.
what she says.
They're good. I mean, they're Wisconsin white cheese curds. I don't know if we're doing anything fancy. You know,
You take cheese,
yeah, you fry it.
fry it.
You know,
Well, you got to have the right breading too.
yeah.
Man, I got to fix this microphone. You got the right breading, and then you guys also have poutine.
Sure,
which is
yeah.
spectacular.
No, we wanted bar food. I mean, we named the place Big Lug. I mean, I don't think there was any reason to not serve, foods that Scott and I like to eat that make us real healthy. So, cheese curds, yeah, deep fry 'em, more butter, more salt, more pepper, all that stuff.
So did you get the idea of the Nashville chicken? Did you go down to Hattie B's or one of those Nashville
Prince's, yeah.
Princes? Okay.
Mhm. No, I was down in Nashville with my girlfriend, I want to say about a year and a half ago, and I was seeing Sturgill Simpson. Highly recommend
Nice.
seeing Sturgill in Nashville. But I had heard of Nashville chicken. I had to try it. So if you're gonna go, you go to the place they recommend, and that was Prince's. So
We didn't make it to Prince's. We ended up at Hattie B's, and Pat and I waited in line for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
Jesus.
it's good.
Yeah,
Way too much.
yeah. We got in there, and we waited forever, but the portions were astronomical, and it was incredible. It was worth the wait. I mean, it was honestly worth the wait. I would have been happy if I had a beer in my hand. I didn't, but it was worth the wait.
Yeah, and the Hattie B's
regardless.
are in better locations. Prince isn't exactly in the nicest location you want to be hanging out at. So.
But did you have to wait as long?
No, we waited
See, there you go.
20 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah,
we
were
waited, but
I don't know if there's any food that I have to stand in line and wait for that's worth it.
I
Okay.
sat in the blues bar and kept drinking. My buddies Don and Megan. So thank you, Don.
we waited in line in Portland for donuts when we were doing some market research. The Voodoo donuts, those were worth it. Those were really good.
Voodoo donuts.
Those were
Like
those were
made
tasty.
with Rogue Voodoo beer?
No, well, kind of opposite. They ended up making a beer together.
Oh,
So
okay.
Voodoo
Right on.
Donuts is
Yeah,
a separate entity, and it's wild, the stuff there. And then they're
Nice.
open 24 hours a day, just nonstop baking. And then next to it is Rogue has a little.
Yeah.
I mean, they're huge. They're not a small brewery.
No.
But Rogue distills. Rogue makes soaps. They make shirts. They make their own. I mean, anything that you can do, Rogue basically does it. So they're fun.
So are you guys going to start using your spent grains for anything, or are you
Well,
already?
No, we give spent grains to local farms. I own a pig, so I take spent grains home to my pig.
Wait, time out. Is this a pig friendly event?
The pig's not here. We call her Brew Pig, but Brew Pig is not here right now.
Actually, Jordan and Amy actually have a pig as well.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I got
our
a
new
little
mascot.
little Juliana.
This one's Hamilton Pigsby.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Our pig's name is Maud, and then once we get another one, his name will be Harold.
Nice.
So,
Can we bring him to the next recording?
absolutely.
Out on the patio?
Yeah. Maud hangs out here all the time. She hangs out in the brewery.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So you started to touch on it a little bit, but tell me about the Big Lug name. Where did that come from?
The original name was actually going to be after my grandpa.
Okay.
Rockstone Pizza is a pizza place that we own. Yep. And I kind of like this idea that my dad started Sam's Restaurants, and then he did Rockstone in his homage to his grandpa, who I never met. He died kind of young. But this was a way to name something after my grandpa. So It was like, okay, we have Rockstone, we have Sam's, and now I'm going to name something Haas. So Lug Canteen was the original name, and actually there's a brew that you've probably heard of called Haas Rye Lager from Great Divide. It's a good beer, but Great Divide sent us a cease and desist order.
Really?
Yeah. Luckily I had sent them an email saying, here's my name, here's my plan, we won't use any branding that's the same. I've heard horror stories, so I didn't want to get into that whole thing. Exactly. And they just immediately sent me a lawyer to, email me back a week later, cease and desist, blah, 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 blah. So we changed courses, and we thought about it for a long time, and my grandpa looked a little bit like William Taft, and so we were coming up with names, and man, it's hard to name a brewery because everything sounds cliche when you really have to start trying.
Yep.
And so we had I think about it and they sound so stupid now, but like Clutch Hand was one, Bucktown. And these were not my ideas. And so finally I was like, you know what? He looks like William Taft, and one of William Taft's nicknames was Big Lug. So Born was Big Lug.
Very nice. That is very cool.
Yeah, one's yours, I guess.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I was happy I had one in each hand.
Yeah. We drinking the Stranger here?
I don't. Yep. Well, is that what it is? So I was going to say, while you were talking, we were getting beer put in front of us, and we're definitely fans of that.
Yeah. No, beer's good.
So Eddie, this is how this kind of works. We usually try to sample out a few of your beers on each show, talk about them so our listeners know what we're drinking and what they should come out here and try. So this is the first sample we're doing on the show to review it. This is your Stranger in the Alps, right? You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Stranger in the Alps. Yes, wow. I do. This is a tremendous beer. So we actually got the yeast culture from our friends at Central State Brewing. Josh Hambright provided us with his Brett. They're all 100% Brett. So this is their Brett, and then we made a bière de garde. And the bière de garde, the beer most people have heard of is Two Brothers Domaine du Page French Ale, which is a bière de garde. So we made it in a style kind of like that. It's 100% Brett, so it'll have that kind of horse blanket funk, which is nice. I think it counters well with this beer. We did a collaboration with Flicks, so we made it two different ways. They made theirs a traditional lager style, and we made ours 100% Brett ale style. And so the reason we did that was because BJCP, trying to think of the other guideline, basically were two distinctly different versions of how the beer should be. So we said, all right, well, we'll just brew both of them.
Nice.
And so this one is good. It's funky. It's fun. We do a lot of sour beers, so we wanted something that wasn't sour but still had that tang.
You just perked Pat's ears up when you said sour beers. So.
Yeah. We do a lot of sour. So this one was kind of fun because you get that funky horse blanket, and I hate using that word, but it is. It's like that barnyard funk, and we've got a little berry in there. It's good.
Yeah, it's
really good.
Yeah. You're right though. It's got that. It's light but yet very full flavor because I think that tang of that sour just makes it lightens that up a little bit. It's really, really good.
Well, and their yeast is so clean. They do such a good job with that Brett being it cleans everything up so well that you just get such clean, pure flavor. So it's kind of, you taste everything.
Right. So this wasn't actually aged with Brett. It was just you used the yeast that had been aged with Brett.
No,
right?
it's Brett. Brett is a fermenting agent. It goes in to ferment instead of what you would call, like an English ale yeast or something like that. We add Brett to eat all the sugar. So Brett does the same job, eats the sugar, poops out CO2 and alcohol. So, basically what happens.
So in this whole endeavor, not to sidetrack at all from the beer, but you're a cook, right?
I cook. That's what I do. You don't want to drink my beer.
You've had to learn
subpar.
You've had to learn a lot, though.
Yeah, I've always liked beer. Beer's made me money. I own bars, and I got into the craft beer thing pretty early. I had friends who loved it, and they got me into it. I mean, kind of like this, and just tasting it and drinking it and hanging out with people. I've met talented people, and one of them was Scott, and I had this idea for a brew pub, and that's what we did. So, yeah, I know beer, but food is my specialty.
Now, Scott unfortunately had to leave us, so what's his background? How did that happen, bringing him on board?
Where I met him was Beer Brewery. Darren Connor's a good friend of mine. I've done tons of work with Jerry and Darren and Ryan.
We're sorry.
Yeah, no. They don't come much more special than Darren. He's kind of a one of a kind.
No, Jerry's pretty special.
Yeah.
Love you, Jerry.
They do things their own way, and their own way is pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Sure. So it's I met them there. I'd cooked food there once a month on Friday. I would just bring whatever etouffee, or I would bring crab cakes. I would bring burgers. I would do ribs. I would cook for them so they could serve pints, and it gave me a way in meeting new people and getting Sam's Place, my other bar out there. And I met Scott. We just kind of. Honestly, we talked about Radiohead. I'm a big Radiohead fan, and he has an OK Computer tattoo on his arm. And I asked him, asked him how much someone paid him to get that, and we hit it off. And we were buds, and we liked talking. Honestly, we didn't like talking beer, and we just liked talking. And then I tasted his beers; they were delicious. He had a good background. He went to Oak and Barrel, went to Ram as the head brewer, and he was just making tremendous stuff. Honestly, his lagers were just out of this world. So I approached him, and there it was.
There it is.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
That's right.
So when you say you really like craft beer, what is your go-to style of craft beer? What are you a lager guy? Or are you a stout guy?
It's hard to say. Honestly, it's hard. I'm a gin guy.
There you go. I respect that.
Beer to me, I love it because it's complex, and I like to have one. I'm not like a drink 4 or 5 or 6. I just am not that guy. Never have been.
Neither are we.
Yeah. I like to drink like one and get the complexities, let it warm up, see what happens. I just think it's more interesting than most drinks. It's more. It's got a lot of diversity to what you can do with it. So, I'd say my go-to style, would probably be something Belgian, fruity, Belgian doubles, triples. I think they're the most fun. So I'd say that Bruges triple. Triple is always a good answer.
So now,
go ahead.
I was going to say, so now with where you're located at, that couldn't have been by accident either.
No.
This perfect spot right on the Monon.
We live over here. I grew up over here. I tried to go downtown at one point.
Okay.
And then just kind of fell through. No real reason. I just didn't really like the space as much as I thought I would.
Sure.
But this made sense. We knew the guys who owned the Snooty Fox. It was a good deal. I wanted building rights. I wanted to be in charge of design, and
sure.
So it gave us all the opportunities. And people bike here. People I know live here. My family lives here.
Right.
It's easy for me to get here, so that stuff matters.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that come here. My mother-in-law and father-in-law, they're here religiously. I think probably a couple times a week. They love your food. They love the atmosphere. We love it too. We just live a little further away.
Yeah.
If you were next door, I'd probably never leave.
Yeah, it was the goal. I think that the brew pub idea for us wasn't how do we give Indianapolis another distributor. It was how do we give Indianapolis Nora, more importantly, a place to go. It was we kind of had this goal that if we could brew everything here, then that's what we would do. So
since you said you're the food guy, what on your menu? What are your recommendations for food? If people come here, what must they try while they're here?
Everything. Yeah, everything.
That was easy.
Yeah, the specials are always, I think, the most fun. They give me some more leverage to play around with. I get to mess around with some new stuff, seasonal stuff, talk to my suppliers. What do they have coming in? What's trendy? As stupid as that sounds, but it is. It's what do people want to eat? On the menu, I'd say Nashville chicken. I'd say it's one of the closer representations out there in this city.
Well, you got a pretty big endorsement for those wings, though.
Yeah,
right?
Rossi and my boy Alexander Rossi, free wings for life.
That's right.
He better be talking good about him.
For those that don't know, it was the 2016 Indy 500 winner.
Well, it started off as a joke.
Yeah.
I won a bunch of money on a bet with my buddies. And I just tweeted at him, "Free wings for life, Rossi." And sure enough, apparently he loved wings and had mentioned me in some comment. And he uses that deal very, very often. I'm not sure I've actually made money on this deal anymore, but it's good press. I'll take that. They're all good dudes, really. They're legitimately nice, down to earth dudes who do crazy stuff every single day. I could not imagine it. So he's probably earned it.
Are you a big Cajun fan? You made toupee and it's
yeah.
Chicken, so
I'm a big layered food fan.
Are you kidding
man!
me?
Damn. Spill, fallen soldier.
You think at this point in our lives we wouldn't do that?
Hunter's just thoroughly embarrassed because he spilled an entire Big Lug beer on the table.
That's definitely alcohol abuse.
That's $5 more, bros.
Damn it! And you just drank the rest that was on the bottom. What the hell?
I sure did. Sucker.
Damn it.
Coming to Military Park on August 28th, the 7th Annual Dig-In, a Taste of Indiana 2016. Indiana's premier farm-to-fork event, featuring the best of the best chefs, restaurants, producers, breweries, and wineries. The Blind Pigs will be recording from tent number 1, so stop on by and say hello. Random guests may be able to join the show and share their dig-in experience for a few minutes on the air. This is the biggest dig-in yet. So be sure to go to diginindiana.org and get your tickets ahead of time. Don't be left outside the gate doors on Saturday, as another sellout crowd is expected for Dig In, a Taste of Indiana 2016. What's the best way to make it through a long work week? Take a midweek break and join the fun every Wednesday night at Alley's Ale House in Fishers for Nico's Open Stage. Want to share your talent in front of a live audience? Whether it's breaking in some new material or jamming out to some favorites, Nico's Open Stage is the place to go for it. There's never a cover charge, and walk-ins are always welcome. Each week brings a featured artist and drink specials from Jack Daniels. Check out Nico's Open Stage on Facebook for more details. And come join the fun every Wednesday night at Alley's Ale House, home of the boys of Blind Pig Confessions.
But no, I like foods. I like foods that are textured and have a lot of different things going on, just like beers. So, Cajun foods. I like to tell people, American cuisine and our palates are so young.
Oh,
You look at what China and Japan and India and some of these food cultures that are thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. It's like, man, we don't know. We like burgers and fries.
That's
it's
right.
Which is nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I like playing around with some of those more intense flavored, fermenting, pickling.
Well, I think what we do, I think just with everything here in America, the food, the music, is we take things from overseas and we're developing new ways to do it.
Yeah.
And just like the craft beer, we're finding ways. I mean, everyone talked 20 years ago, nobody talked about American beer. Everyone talked about the German beers, but now I think we make the craft, we have some of the best beers around.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we've taken things from all over the place and I think made them better.
Yeah.
And we keep expanding on that as well, but
I don't think Americans are afraid, especially American brewers, they're not afraid of trying new things.
Yeah.
And and you get really good payoffs for that. I mean, you get crappy beer too. I mean, there's plenty of people who make crap beer, but you get a lot of people who make this kind of stuff that's like, oh wow, wait a second,
right?
That's pretty cool. I mean, you're seeing these New England style IPAs coming out. Super cloudy, fuzzy, juicy. It's like, and then there's some counterpoint talk for that, whether it's good or not, but.
It's not bad. It's a new beer.
But you know what? You wouldn't have found it unless it was America, where these guys were like, well, let's try this. What about this? Throw this in there. Take it off early. Put it in a can. It's like, you can go through a lot of things. So,
well, you mentioned having a place to go in Nora, but what is your vision for Big Lug? Are you wanting to expand? Is this you want a place for people here to go, or
we won't expand Big Lug. But what we'll expand is kind of the idea, is the way I put it. I looked to Oscar Blues a lot on that, and the way he expanded, which was take fun ideas and then make something. It doesn't have to be Oscar Blues this or Oscar Blues that. I live in a family where we've made Psalms this, Psalms that, Psalms this. And my dad's one of the craziest dudes I know, and he's successful. And it's just hard. You put a lot of weight on your shoulders when everything psalms. Everyone expects you to be there. So the way I looked at it was Big Lug's a good idea, but I have other ideas. So we'll do other breweries, I think, is our ultimate goal. I mean, that sounds heady, but I hope to do other things. I got good ideas, I think, for an all-can facility probably in the next year or two. And there's some stuff I've been working on that Scott and I have been working on. Yeah.
Very nice.
So we'll see.
Very cool.
We'll see.
You guys don't do any production here at all?
No,
This is strictly a brew pub.
Yeah, we sell to Sam's restaurants, and I got a few friends around town I sell to. You can find us at like La Marg, Pint Room. We're on Pint Rooms right now doing a tap takeover, and Hopcat every once in a while. Cool Ship, good guys at Cool Ship, so stuff like that. But no, really, the goal, if we could brew 1,800 barrels here, then we're going to brew 1,800 barrels only for here, nowhere else. That's kind of our plan. I mean, it just makes it more fun, makes it more, come to Norris, come see us if you're in town, try the beers, that type of thing.
So the most important question of the night, though, when is Quiet Storm coming back?
We just had Quiet Storm on 4 days ago on our rotating tap, but it's out. We have 2 barrels left, but we're not going to put it out for a little while. Let it sit. It's aging really well. It's aging really nice. The goal was for 1 year not to brew the same beer twice, other than the house beers. So we're sticking true to that 9 months in, and 1 year after that, or our first year, we'll start to decide, okay, what's the schedule?
Right.
When stuff coming out, stuff like that.
I am a little bummed. There was supposed to be a sour that I guess he just ran out of.
With Super Tardy Animal?
Something, yeah. I'm a little bummed on
my
that
Spuds McKenzie. you guys get the Spuds. Not everyone gets the Spuds McKenzie reference. It's
I know what Spuds McKenzie is.
Yeah.
We're old enough for that.
Chris,
you're old enough for that too, right? You don't know who Spuds McKenzie was?
Oh.
Holy crap, I am old.
He was
like half her age.
He was the ultimate tardy animal. Well, he was the ultimate party animal.
How old are you, Chris?
I'm 30.
Yes.
See, I know who Spud McKenzie is, though.
Yeah, but he kind of lost. He lost his luster like early '90s.
I don't know.
Yeah, he did.
He's just a cruel terrier Russell, or what do they call that? A terrier? What is it? It's a terrier. Yeah. So he just used to ride around on skateboards, play drums, went over all the chicks.
Yeah, see it, hot chicks.
All while drinking Bud Light. And so
it wasn't getting him drunk.
No,
so.
I've had an obsession with Spuds McKenzie for a really long time. I've also had an obsession of getting sued by Budweiser for a really long time. So I named most of my beers in
like the
cheesies.
Lugweiser.
Like the Lugweiser, Lug Light. Yeah. we have a North America beer coming out soon. Whatever I can do to get sued by Budweiser is really my ultimate goal.
There you go.
You are my new hero. I am absolutely an anti-Anheuser-Busch person.
I'm doing it more to get famous. I just want to be famous for just getting sued by Anheuser-Busch and really standing up to the man.
Any press is good press.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm down with it, man. I'll help you in any way I can.
That's right.
Love it.
All right, Chris. What about the Noid? Avoid the Noid. You know the Noid, right?
Domino's.
Did you not
the video
watch,
game?
Were you not
I used
able
to have the video game.
Did your parents not let you watch TV as a kid?
I don't like TV very much.
Did you just
I
play
was
music were you playing music that young that you didn't give a shit about TV?
I didn't give a shit about anything, I guess.
Really?
You were one shelter.
So you're the Nirvana fan.
I like Ninja Turtles.
Yes, he is.
But you weren't. You're not a game. You weren't playing video games.
Oh, no,
I
no.
can see that. You're definitely not. But
No, I was either
start,
like playing basketball or my guitar.
When did you pick up the guitar?
When I was like 16 or something.
Really?
But
Can you
before
do
that,
both
I was
at the
just
same
singing.
time?
I was singing in bands and singing with my brother and stuff. So yeah, I didn't really watch a whole lot of TV or play games.
I wish I could sing.
I'm not very well rounded. I just have like a few things I like, and I do those all the time.
I feel like I need to catch you up on life. I feel like you've missed a whole lot of like good Merc stuff.
Where's
Just
the beef?
Not there.
Where's the
Spud
beef?
McKenzie and North.
I don't really like nationalism either. So
Hallelujah.
This got weird.
And
that's what I do.
So Chris
Brendan was like, "It's time to get weird. Let's talk to Chris." I was just sitting here drinking some whiskey and.
You have to have one good anti-nationalism rant on every show. That's what I've heard.
It's
Today's political climate.
Yeah,
That's right.
Absolutely.
So now, when we were at a, I'm sorry, you got something?
No,
I mean,
go
hey,
for
I'll
it.
wait on you.
No, go for it.
All right, you sure?
Yep.
All right, I love
Let's
you.
go.
All right,
Go.
Cowboys on
So
like
we-
3 times a year, and you cut them off.
Yeah.
I know.
Nice,
He's
Hunter.
usually, messing around with
Just
somebody's
go.
eye.
I want to hear about Cowboys fireworks this year for 4th of July.
Oh, there's that.
They weren't that good.
Oh man.
So the one thing I was going to say,
Yeah, that was a bummer
we
question.
were a little melodramatic there.
You can cut that out.
Oh, it will happen.
So we were at Pies and Pints. So we got to sample the beer there. We had Jerry there who joined us. Great time with him. But we also got to have some of the Rockstone pizza while we were there.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorites was you had that shrimp bisque pizza. Oh. And I looked at that and I was like, I just don't know about this shrimp bisque pizza. Watch this guy. Man, it blew me away.
It's
awesome.
It's delicious. That whole pizza lineup is incredible, honestly. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're happy to have them next door.
Yeah.
Kind of like a loaded baked potato pizza. I was like, what the hell?
That was great.
Oh, yeah, I get it now.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what my dad and I ate from Puccini's on like a everyday basis. So that was our interpretation of it.
Yeah?
I got to give props to Puccini's on that one.
So I grew up in Fishers, which had one of the first Psalms restaurants, probably the first Psalms restaurant.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up going to the first Psalms restaurant when I was a kid, and it was like the best thing in the world. The mom and dad would say, "We're going to Psalms this week." I'd be like, "Yes, thank God."
Yeah.
Psalms is, that's. I grew up with the name. I grew up with the restaurant. I grew up with the food. So I'm very familiar with all that stuff. So when I found out that a Psalm was opening in Big Lug, I'm like, "Oh, it's got to be good."
Yeah,
it has to be good. The
Hopefully.
family name precedes itself. So
yeah. My dad's. I call him the OG. He's been doing this for 30 years. Psalms is on its 30-year anniversary. So really late 1986. He's done it all. And he's opened up over 30 restaurants.
Wow.
He still operates 13 plus a huge catering business, wedding business. Employs over probably 600 people. So
that's awesome.
I mean, he's the OG, and you know what? He still cooks on the line, and he still cleans the bathrooms, and it's like. So yeah, when you think back to 1986, man, I was in diapers walking around that place, and he worked, 90 hours a week, still does. I mean, it's just kind of how he is. So yeah, I mean, that's the reason it was successful was he just loved it, he breathed it. He's the OG. He doesn't get a lot of respect for it, honestly, but he's there was not a lot to eat back then. Even until you think about like early 2000s, there just really wasn't a lot of places to go. And he stayed local. No other investors, just him. Still to this day, other than myself and our accountant John Rush. That's about it.
And like I said, growing up in Fishers, Psalms was the most respected eating establishment in the city.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's where when you wanted a good dinner, you went to Psalms.
Yeah,
that's what you did.
We always get mad. We hear people talk about local and they don't mention Psalms, and they're like, "Well, you're a chain." Like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what else do we have to do? Like, it's me and him. Like, this is it. Well, there's a chain. No, that's not a chain. We just own a lot of restaurants. That's it. That's all we do.
All your restaurants are family owned then?
Yeah, they're him and myself, mainly him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
I work downtown at AUL building a lot.
Yeah, there you go.
And I see Psalms damn near on a daily basis.
That's the cafeteria, man.
You got the cafeteria, you got the little coffee shop, and across the street you got Rockstones and Psalms there.
And Psalms, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else you guys own around there, but it's probably a lot.
Free parking for everybody, yeah. It's a good spot.
But it's not a chain, Cowboy. Don't say it's a chain now.
Oh, it's not a chain. But
yeah, but when you hear about the top 25 local places, you are sure to not hear about Psalms restaurants.
That's actually sad, man. That bothers me because, like I said, when I was a kid growing up, I moved to Fishers in probably, I think, 1987. 8 years old, that's where we went for dinner. When we wanted to go out for dinner, we went to Psalms.
Yeah,
that's what we did.
I don't think that's true. Because I moved here in 2006, and the first thing everybody, when I asked where to go to eat, Psalms always came up. So I think
it's kind of funny. I relate a lot to Sun King, and I think Sun King's going through the same thing. Sun King is top of the line. They really are, and their practices are top of the line. Their people are top of the line, and they don't get a lot of love. I think a lot of people think that they're old, and there's people doing newer and better things, and you just go down there and see what those guys are doing, and you're like, holy cow! I mean, like they're the OGs. I mean, like. A big-time distribution. Now you got Broad Ripple Brew Pub, and those guys have always been awesome, and Ted Miller of Bruges has always been awesome. But, man, you look at what Sun King's doing, you're like, that's like the one you should all look to. That's the one everyone should be like, all right.
Well, they were game changers in the industry,
and they still are.
Brew, and they're still. I mean,
exactly.
They're the Budweiser of Indianapolis.
Yeah.
They really are. I mean,
but
they make everybody else do what they have to do to compete. I mean, they do. I mean,
and I look at that and say more power to them. They're not doing anything wrong. It's not like they went out and got extra money. They don't sell to outside states. They don't do anything like that. It's like, I love that. I love that about them, and I think that's kind of how Psalms has always been. And sometimes you get looked at badly when you open up another restaurant or you're here, there, everywhere. So,
hell, they just started selling in grocery stores.
They did, yeah.
Like Monday. So just a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. You can go get a 12-pack or whatever or
it's
a
tough,
6-pack
man.
or whatever at a grocery store.
Of Sun King.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of these guys are trying to open up these big, 8,000, potentially 8,000, 9,000 barrel systems that they can do, and we're going to change the world. And I just look at them like, you are not ready for what's about to come, because it is not easy and it is not fun. Where I looked at Big Lug and was like, hey man, if we can brew 1,800 barrels, and you and I are, Scott, talking about Scott, we're going to have a lot of fun. We get to name all of our beers. The Stranger in the Alps is named after a Big Lebowski reference. And, Quintana, same thing. And we get to name whatever we want, make whatever we want, and have as much fun as we can have. So,
okay, here's a question, because this goes back, and we always hear this differently almost everywhere we go, is do you name your beer before or after the beer is made?
No, I'd say more so during. We have ideas. Some of them I just have good, Scott will be like, man, I got to name a beer this. And I'll say, oh, yeah, man, we got to name a beer this. And, like right now, I'm real into Gus Chiggins from Saturday Night Live. He's the old timey prospector that Will Ferrell played, and I want to name our old ale Gus Chiggins. So sometimes like that,
fitting.
Yeah, sometimes we do that, but like most of the time, it's like, all right, we're making something, let's try it. What do we feel like? Something will hit you over the head. It just kind of depends. Sometimes you make a beer around a name. Honestly, it's like that name's too good not to make a beer for. Let's make something.
So I was telling my wife earlier tonight this past week, we're going to Big Lug this Tuesday. You want to come? She's like, well, I can't. Got blah blah blah. And she goes, but do not come home without another Big Lug glass. So I have to buy. Do you guys sell them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I just picked up some 12-ounces too.
Yeah, no, she doesn't care. She likes the big boys.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So
with the fake quotes, with the fake quotes on the back.
Yeah. She loved. That was the favorite thing of Pies and Pints. I brought home like a shit ton of stuff, and all of a sudden she's like, "This glass is mine."
Yeah, every single one of my Untapped, when I take a picture, is in a Big Lug glass because of that Pies and Pints.
Yeah, no, they're nice. They're nice glasses. They break at an uncontrollable rate, though.
Yes, they do.
I picked a glass that won't stop breaking every time you wash it, so that's fun.
Well, I will say
it makes people buy more.
No, it's a good glass. It has this weird grip to it. It's fun. It kind of flares out a little bit. You put fake stuff on the back of it that no one actually said, and everyone's like, Yeats really say this? No, Yeats did not really say that.
Oh, so do you have different sayings on a lot of glasses? Cool.
Yeah,
sweet.
So like each glass we release has a different saying on it. So like you guys probably have the newest release glass, but the next one might be from whoever. This is what Hillary Clinton said. Big Lug's awesome because I get to strip naked. You never know. It's like.
Just kidding, cowboy.
Well, I told you what I was going to do with the box earlier.
So you never really know what's going to happen with those glasses.
That's funny.
Even your sample glasses are pretty awesome.
They're cute.
Oh, they're cute, but they're pretty awesome.
Scott and I are cute guys. We're very just fun-loving, cute guys.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything on air, but yeah.
So did Scott come from a homebrewing background?
Zero homebrewing background.
Really?
He never homebrewed in his entire life.
That is pretty impressive.
Now, my assistant brewer is a big-time home brewer. He loves it, and him and Scott get in giant arguments all the time. Scott just came from pure professional background. He got into brewing. He started working for Omar over at Three Wise Men, and then from there he got into it at Beer Brewery, and then he went to Oak and Barrel and then the Ram. But most of what he learned was a few years with Omar. And Keeley over at Three Wise Men, who makes, in my opinion, some of the best beer in the state. So she's awesome.
Very cool. Well, we were talking a little bit off air before we started the night about we had started doing some homebrewing too, and we kind of started off because we wanted to be able to have intelligent conversation, and now we kind of, like I told you, we caught the bug, and now we're trying to hone it in and become perfect with our beer.
More power to you, man.
Man, it's not easy.
Nuts.
It's a science. It is a science, that's for sure.
Yeah, homebrewing drives me nuts. I'm meticulously clean in the kitchen, but there's something about how long I have to wait to try homebrew and how little control I really have over it that just drives me bonkers.
Exactly.
And they never turn out very good because I'm not very good at it.
So we, as you know, we have a Brew Wars coming up in the city that we're putting together, and we're hoping to get Big Lug involved in that and, get some, judging and whatever from you guys, some professional opinions on it. And a lot of the homebrewers seem to end up being professional brewers at some point. So it's kind of exciting to us because we get to taste those home brews and we get to be involved in this contest. it makes you wonder, those guys that are brewing that really good beer, what's their future going to be like? Are they going to end up being a head brewer at a brewery here in Indy? Or, what is their future life for them? So I'm sure we're also going to encounter some beers that we're all like, I'd rather not comment on your beer.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's going to be a little of both. But
it's the same thing when you go over to someone's house who claims to be a really good cook, and you're like, yeah, that's really good.
Right?
Thanks for the lasagna.
Next time, maybe try this.
Yeah. But
you like salt, huh?
Yeah. Honestly, in my opinion, they don't like salt enough most of the time. I mean, that's the biggest mistake most people make is they just refuse to dip into the butter a little bit more or throw a little more salt onto it.
Throwing butter.
The three most important things in cooking for me are vinegar, salt, and butter. I mean, it's like acid, fat, and salt. It's like if you can learn how to use those three things, then you'll be all right. So I think it's like the same thing with homebrew. You got to keep making the same beer. You got to keep trying the same thing so that you start to learn kind of, oh, wait, that's why that was, that's why the malt character wasn't enough. That's why that was too hoppy. But you start to taste that same beer, and all of a sudden those nuances come together like, oh, wait, so now that's a good beer. So these 10 things I did, I took away it's a scientific approach, and Scott does the same thing here. I mean, it's just on a much larger scale, but it's just a much more controlled scale. I mean, it's everything he can do. It's like right there, he pushes a button. Okay, now it's going to happen.
So now are you at home brewing or?
No, here and there. It's just not something that I have time for, honestly.
But that's cool though. I mean, the fact that you do say here and there, but you are trying it.
Yeah, and Brian, like I said, our assistant brewer, he does it all the time. I mean, we have a little 5-gallon system in the brewery that he works on, that he homebrews on. He goes to the great fermentations and buys his pitches and buys his he uses our malts. So he'll do whole grain beers back there. But a lot of our barrel aged stuff is actually Brian kind of playing around and
really
making some stuff. Yeah. So it's a good time.
That's awesome.
Do Brian or Scott, do the other guys have styles that they really love to do, or something that they shine through on?
Yeah, I'd say Scott is lagers. He's really starting to figure out the sours, and our goal is to make more complex sours. Stuff with dry hop character, a little bit more yeast character.
Nice.
But I'd say Brian, he's been making some really awesome ryes. He's got a good way of using rye in some of those beers. Scott refuses to make rye beers. So,
speaking of your sours, how do you? Because from what we've understood from some other stuff, you have to be very careful about the sours, and you usually kind of brew them someplace else because they can contaminate the rest of everything else.
Depending on what you're doing, you would. Like our Brett beers are scary because Brett is really hard to kill. And so Brett likes to get into porous things, so you use different types of plastic gaskets and stuff like that so that your Brettanomyces doesn't overwhelm and overtake any other beers, which it will. Sour beers, we do a method called sour kettling. It's kind of a shortcut. It's a good shortcut. It allows you to make sour beers faster than putting them in a barrel and letting them sit for 5 months. We do that too, but the sour kettling basically allows you to take like a lactobacillus or a pediococcus and let it work in 2 days. You prevent as much oxygen as being in there as you can, kind of cover it with CO2. And then you do the same thing you normally would: boil it, whirlpool it, add hops if you want to add hops, and then you ferment it. So it's a little harder, but really it just comes down to being more thorough and cleaning. It really won't mess with anything too much.
Right.
Yeah. Sours are fun, but the biggest complaint we get is like, oh, this beer is bad. Like, do you like sours? I've never heard of a sour beer. Like,
well, there you go.
No, it's not bad beer. You just don't like it. So sorry.
Don't order that one next time. You'll be good to go.
Don't get that one. That's why we have seven other beers.
And do you guys have any collaborations you're coming up with going on now, or the Flicks is the last one he did, right? And then,
so the one I'm doing right now, we're working. Our new goal is to try to figure out how to do collaborations that aren't with other breweries, and that's not to say we won't. Like we did Super Tardy Animal with St. Joseph's. Stranger in the Alps was with Flicks. We'll be doing one with Chili Water called the Big Chill here in August. And
clever name.
Yeah, right. The one that we want to focus on is doing stuff with people who aren't in breweries, restaurants, clothing companies. So I have a friend out in Colorado who owns a company called Green Dream Clothing Company. So we're going to make a beer with him. He'll make merchandise for it. Kind of be a fun cross.
Oh, that's really
thing.
cool. Yeah.
The one that you guys probably know of is Tappers downtown, the arcade bar. We're making a beer with them.
Oh, nice.
I've owned this old-timey Shinobi Sega game for a long time. They're going to fix it up for me, and we're going to make a beer for the game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's called Shinobi, the game. But the beer is going to be called Magic Boy's Soul from the show Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because it's for the Gen Con convention. It's a jasmine rice lager. So we wanted this like Sriracha Ace lemony
Jasmine rice lager.
Yeah, lemony jasmine in the nose rice lager. And then we're going to release it down at Tappers and do a big, see if people can beat me at the game. And if they can, they get like a $20 bigger gift card. They can. I can't lose at that game.
Yeah.
And,
challenge accepted.
Exactly. Come down. It's free to play, man. You get to drink Dungeon Boy's Soul. So
I challenge you all to a foot race.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not accepting. You win.
Yeah, you win.
So now what else?
We drink beer.
You guys have.
We don't
heard
race.
earlier you guys had actually a movie night on Mondays.
We do,
correct?
yeah. Doing a Monday night movie night. It's about 100% illegal, but we don't really care until they get sued. We take movies we like. We just did a trio of Wes Anderson movies.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, 8 o'clock, till about 10:30 or whatever. So we just showed Rushmore. And then next week we're going to show a string of Will Ferrell movies. So we'll do Semi-Pro, Step Brothers, and Old School. So,
Oh, that's fantastic.
yeah, we'll do a Clerks, Mallrats, maybe some Dogma. Who knows?
Yeah.
There you go.
What Wes Anderson films did you?
We did the first one we did was Fantastic Mr. Fox. The second one was Life Aquatic, Steve Zissou, and then the last one was Rushmore. The Christopherson is actually named after a character from the Fantastic Mr. Fox. Roald Dahl was my favorite author as a kid, so I had to give a little throwback to him. And his nephew's name is Christopherson, and he's like the next up-and-coming fox. So we opened up here for the Snooty Fox. So we thought, well, it's appropriate to have a beer named Christopherson then. So.
Yeah,
I did
Wes
not make.
Anderson's one of my favorites.
I think he's definitely by
Darjeeling
far one of
Limited
my
is, like,
favorites
my
right
favorite
now.
movie.
And I mean, he's amazing. Everything that he does.
Every detail, I think that was kind of fun. Kodo did all of our design work, and I worked really closely with them on everything. And we like to throw Easter eggs in. We like to play around with stuff, and so it just kind of played into the theme because that's Wes Anderson to a T, right?
Sure.
Everything's clean, everything's simple, but it's also just completely to the way the shirt collar was folded, detailed, but it's simple to look at, and it's like.
But you can watch him over and over and pick things out every time because
it's a beautiful
every
thing.
shot is so precise.
He also, if you look at some of the other things, he has there's a symmetry he keeps in all his films. So there's literally a center line down most of his shots and everything, and it's
Kubrick did a lot of
is
that too, but
specific.
I think he took what Kubrick did and just did it all the time.
Yeah. No, it's fun. I mean, people
yeah.
kind of respond to it really well, and I've always loved Wes Anderson. Always will.
So, yeah, let's quit talking about movies.
Yeah. You got a beer?
Yeah.
So I think this is Belieber Vice.
Yes. This is one of the craziest beers I think I've had in a long time.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, in a very good way. It smells almost like, remember back in the day when you walk through a mall and there'd be popcorn stands, but you would smell that caramel popcorn in the background? That's what I smell.
I do smell the caramel.
And I got really excited, and I didn't read anything about this beer. And then I drank it, and I was like, wait, that's sour. But then it finished like this maltiness. I mean, almost, it's a crazy beer. It's not what I expected at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sweetened up as it's aged a little bit. The popcorn's not usually a very desirable flavor.
No,
that would be called diacetyl, but luckily it's not in the flavor.
It's a tart technically, right?
Yeah, yeah. So Berliner Weiss is just it's really like kind of a German style table beer. It's a wheat. It's always going to be sour. Really, they drank this instead of drinking their water back in the day because it was going to be better for them. Not going to kill them. So a lot of people will make like fruited Berliner Weisses, right? You'll see like raspberry. You'll see people use herbs in there. We just wanted a straightforward, simple. You're on your bike, you stop at Big Lug, and you could chug these things. 3.2% ABV.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So
there you go. After your run, you can come and have a Belieber Weissen.
Sounds good.
Right?
Yeah, we named it after
Or 13.
Senior Justin Bieber. Our assistant.
Is that where that came from?
Our
Do you have a
assistant
Grohl
brewer.
Weissen?
Our assistant brewer bet us that we wouldn't name a beer after Justin Bieber, and I said, "Well, you are wrong, sir.
You, sir,
accepted.
are wrong.
I will name a beer after Justin Bieber."
So, Eddie, I have to ask you. So, going back to movie references, do the back of your shirts, they say too hot to handle, too cold to hold? I feel like I should be singing a certain theme song from a movie. Is that where it came from?
No, it came from Macho Man Randy Savage.
Which would be on the front of his shirt.
Yeah, which
Is
would
it?
be,
Okay.
Oh yeah, brother.
It was literally the lyrics in Ghostbusters 2 in the theme song that Bobby Brown wrote.
There you go. That wasn't the reference, but I like that. Okay, well, I'll run with it.
Dual meaning.
Yeah, no, I used to watch a bunch of Macho Man clips because he's like my favorite person of all time. And when he would hang out with Michelle, and he said Michelle was too hot to handle and too cold to hold. So that was a saying, and I thought it was perfect for beer.
See, and every time I hear it, I just want to say they call the Ghostbusters now. We're in control.
Hey. Done.
I mean, it's
Done.
That's where it came from for me. So I'm not a
There you
wrestling guy though, so that's why I had to ask because you seem to be a very much in-depth a movie guy. So
You don't. I am. I do. I'm kind of like our friend over here. What was your name again? Chris. I'm kind of like you in the sense that like I didn't do a lot of stuff as a kid, but I played a lot of basketball and I watched more movies than a healthy child should watch. and so I got real into like music that made me not feel good about myself, and movies that made me feel like I could do things I probably would never be able to do. So, that's the perfect.
And
mix.
I would just like find a movie and just watch it over and over again. I don't know if you did that or not, but
Sometimes, I mean,
Yeah.
it would depend.
I was on like 3 years of Waterworld.
3 years of Waterworld.
Ouch.
I'm exaggerating.
That
a
is the
little bit,
worst
but
3 years of anyone's life.
That movie is so underrated. So
You can
awesome.
find love. in a movie.
Chris,
All Kevin Costner films should be
Point
burned.
counterpoint. Here we go.
I hope you're fucking with us.
Please, because all Kevin Costner
I want
films
you
should
to. I
just
want
be
you to, I want you to
destroyed.
think about how old I was when Waterworld came out.
It's no Postman, but
Time out. I'm younger than you are.
Yeah, you're too young. You don't get it. I was the perfect age for it.
Oh, yeah. Is that what it was?
I was probably like 7.
when
Okay.
Waterworld came out, no.
I'm going to
don't
defend Chris for a minute though because
No, you're
Cowboys
not.
comments don't count because this is the man who's in love with the movie Hot to Trot. For
True.
God's sakes.
That was a fantastic movie. You all can go fuck yourselves.
So what? In the words of my favorite movie, High Fidelity, what would be your like top 5?
I was just about to talk about
Oh,
that movie.
no.
Right.
That's when I was a teenager.
Top
That's the
fives?
movie I watched all the time.
Yeah, that's my top 5. High Fidelity's got to go up there all the time. Cusack most things.
It's.
but-
I'm gonna say not that one. I do like that one, but he does have one into my top that I'll watch every time it's on. That's Gross Point Blank.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I love that.
I was going to say anything. I watch every time it's on too.
Yeah, that's-
I mean,
yeah,
if you
that's
if you
the
take out gross and just put Point Blank, yeah, it's a great movie.
Did you
Point
get
Break?
that from somewhere, or is that all on you?
No, that was just me.
That
Don't worry
feels
about
good.
it.
We keep him around for the intelligent comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, it's horrible.
Big Lug does a lot of popular culture references. So yeah, movies, music. I did a Steve Earle beer, named it for an IPA. I have an obsession with Steve Earle, and
Copperhead Road.
yeah, the Copperhead Road. He has a
Nice.
song called
There you
Guitar
go.
Town, where he says something which I just absolutely love. He said he had a 2-pack habit and a Motel Tan. And I always wondered what the hell was a Motel Tan. And so we named a beer Motel Tan because it just sounded like a beer. It's like a beer you drink when you're just trying to get real messed up.
That's fun.
That may be the funniest name.
Yeah.
So is that a very high gravity beer?
Yeah, it was like a 6.9% IPA, but it was just super like in your face. It was a fun like red IPA. But yeah, I mean, just Steve Earle being the man.
The man. I
He is.
absolutely agree with you.
Steve Earle is awesome.
Are you
So-
saying sit on this and spin, or what?
I was saying that edit. I was saying we're at almost an hour, so we need to start winding down.
Okay.
Aw.
Now, Chris, do you have any beer drinking tunes that you've written?
That I've written.
Yeah, or whiskey drinking tunes.
I mean, the references, but not songs that are just all about that.
I mean, a song. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
That was a horrible joke, Pat.
Well,
Well,
thank
no one
goodness
else
he didn't
heard
have
him.
a mic in front of him. So.
Thank God.
I said like a good Red Solo Cup song.
Yeah, again, That was a horrible, horrible, horrible joke, Pat.
Pat, go back to Justin.
I'll work on one for you.
We need. I'm asking because we need an opener.
Oh, there
We
you go.
keep asking for a theme song.
I'll work on something.
Where's Roberto?
He should be here, and he supposedly wrote us a song. So
I'll write a better one.
Oh,
the challenge.
we
is
need an
on.
opening and a closing song.
There
That'll
you
work
go.
perfectly.
I'll do both.
Boom.
There we go. So, Eddie, do you have anything else to say to our fans about Big Lug? Why they should come out? About your beers? About the food? About anything else? I mean, what do you got, man?
Wait a minute, time out. I got this.
am-
I got this.
I am a go.
It's delicious.
Thank you.
Time out. That's it. That's all.
I'm not. I don't really do the shameless promotion thing.
You should.
But you should, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah, no, it's good, I guess. You know, it's got a lot of parking. No, you know, we do everything in house. We take pride in the stuff that you know, to me is the reasons people should come back each and every time. You know, making things the same, making them really good, paying attention to food quality standards, paying attention to beer quality standards, buying local, supporting local. You know, we do all the things that we feel like we would like from another place. You know, I tell my servers all the time, put yourself in that seat. You know, how would you feel? You know? That's kind of the way I preach on service. It's the way I preach on cooking, and Scott believes in it in brewing. So I think it's a place that people just kind of relate to quickly. I think you just feel like it's an everyday type of place. So, I think
your mantra on your website was what? Masters of decent food and geniuses in pretty good beer.
Masters of that's exactly right. You said it actually. Yeah, Masters of decent, genius, and pretty good was kind of the original tagline. We added some stuff to it. So we do okay.
I can definitely vouch for the service because everybody in here has been awesome. From the bartender downstairs and everybody up here has been awesome.
Yeah,
You got good folks here.
yeah, they're
That's
nice. They're nice enough. Yeah, I say this, but they're actually not that.
They're
nice.
jerks.
They're all assholes.
You don't want to inflate their egos very much, yeah.
I begged them all to come to work. Please show up.
I do not want to sit behind the bar today.
Well, I will say this about Big Lug. We were introduced to them at Pies and Pints again.
Yep.
They were one of those groups of people that just immediately came over to the table. They introduced themselves. They were friendly. They were feeding us beer all night.
and brought great beer and food.
Absolutely. So we were hooked.
Yeah.
Started coming over here, started drinking. I think we've all brought our families to Rockstone next door now. We've all come in here ourselves.
Not next door, but the downtown location.
So
It's good enough.
it just, it's a fantabulous place. I mean, the food, the beer, the atmosphere, you cannot beat it.
Yeah.
If you're one of those guys, you can go sit on the patio and watch the Monon Trail. So pretty much something here for everyone.
Yeah.
Great local music, too.
You can watch people exercise.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
That's my favorite exercise.
There's nothing better than watching an attractive woman ride a bike on the Monon.
Yeah.
It's
Big old thing of
fantabulous.
Big Lug and a big old thing of Haagen-Dazs.
Well, I'll tell you this, guy. More power to you guys too. I think that Indianapolis is a cool town, and I could have moved. I think a lot of people had the chance of moving, but the more people that get into it, who buy into it, who try to be here, more power to them.
Yeah, that's right.
The beer scene has a long way to go. I wouldn't sit here and act like we're on top of the world, but it is fun to see people who share a genuine interest in informing and growing it, not in a way that's like, oh, well, you don't know beer? Well, let me tell you why I know more than you. Because 5 years ago, that was the craft beer scene. The craft beer scene was here's the beer that I have that you don't have. Here's the beer I've tried that you haven't tried. And it was like, if that was a conversation you started with me, it was like, dude, you might as well stop talking to me because I just don't care.
We've noticed that from the get-go. Everywhere we go, they all talk about how much they love everybody else and all the other breweries. And they talk about the other breweries. It's not a me thing. It's these guys are doing great stuff. These guys are doing great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it takes people pushing one another. It takes people with the same genuine interest of making craft beer successful. So it's not just the brewers, it's the servers, it's the cooks, it's the people doing podcasts. It takes everyone, and it's fun to see more. It makes our jobs easier, honestly. Yeah. I don't have to spend as much marketing dollars.
There you go.
It's actually funny. The more genuine the people are that aren't pushing their name, the better their beer. The people that are shoving their name down your throat generally aren't the better.
That wasn't my name, Cowboy.
Got him. Got me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my Facebook and Twitter would say otherwise. I'm pretty much jamming it down everybody's throats. It's pretty shameless social media.
All right, so go ahead and do your shameless social media tag for us then before we end out the show.
Oh, God. I really, really don't want people to follow me on social media.
Yes, you do. This is going to be fun. Don't worry about it.
So Big Lug is Big Lug Canteen, at Big Lug Canteen for Twitter. Facebook is just, Facebook, / Big Lug Canteen. And Instagram is big_lug_canteen. All three are pretty worthless. They're my just random thoughts on life most of the time.
That makes it even better, actually.
Yeah, very little has to do with beer. I get mad at Yelp a lot.
Wait a minute. This is going to be hilarious.
Yeah. I tend to get in trouble for making fun of customers, but like not in a bad way, but like in the way that's like, if you say something to me where you were trying to make fun of me, I'm going to respond to you. It's not like a PC, like Eddie's not going to say anything, so write to me. It's like, oh, no, I'm going to say something to you. So.
No. Wait a minute. Time out. This is a new game.
Yeah.
I like it. This is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm the all-in social media guy. Here we go. I'm just going to – I don't have my own page, so I'm going to use Big Lug. So that's it.
Excellent. All right, Eddie. Well, thanks for coming on the show tonight. Thanks for hosting us tonight here at Big Lug Canteen. Again, we love it. We've been here several times. We'll definitely be back many more times.
I was going to say, I've got a feeling we're going to be back real soon.
Yeah, hopefully we do another show here in the future. And again, thanks for everything, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Birch. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks.
All right. Bye, Chris.
Bye.
Were you ever really high? Were you ever really low? Where were you? Do you ever think of me? Do you ever lose control? The silence now is too late. Hey, 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 yeah. Now the gate is broken. Go and let them in. Where were you? I can see it coming, watch your demons win. Now the gate is broken, go and let them in. I can feel it coming, watch your angels sing. Were you ever really high? Were you ever really slow? What were you? Do you ever think of me? Do you ever lose control? The silence now is too late. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Now the gate is broken, go and let them in. Who were you? I can see it coming, watch your demons win. Now the gate is broken, go and let them in. I can feel it coming, watch your angels sing. Pick me up and you let me down, then we fall again, but you're still around. You pick me up and you let me down, we fall again, but you're still around. You pick me up and you let me down, you fall again, but you're still around. You pick me up and you let me down, you pick me up and you let me down. Now the gate is broken, go and let them in. Who were you? I can see